Hey, welcome back. My name is Dimitri Vitsa. You're watching Austin Tech Talks. I'm with StoryAmp. It's a web platform for connecting journalists with music. But right now we're here to interview Darryl Ballantyne with LyricFind. Thanks for coming out and making some time during South by to talk with us here.
Anytime. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Glad to be here.
I've got my questions on the phone, so I'm not checking text messages here, but got us kind of organized. So let's get started. For people who don't know LyricFind, you sit next to somebody in an airplane. What do you tell them LyricFind is? What do you do?
I basically tell them that we're an aggregator for all the rights and content for the use of song lyrics online. So basically, anybody that you see out in digital form using song lyrics, if they're doing it legally, they're licensing it through us for pretty much every application out there. So we've done licensing deals with over 3,000 music publishers to get the rights. We have a team of people back in the office that sit with headphones on typing out all of the lyrics.
Oh, wow.
And then we package that together and sub-license it out to music services and websites and mobile services and cell phone companies. Anybody who wants to use the content in digital form will come to us and do a one-stop shop license.
Gotcha. So if I'm a music fan, what's the most likely contact that I'm going to have with your services?
Some of the most common ones are just lyric sites on the internet. So if you're trying to look up the lyrics to a song and you go to Google or you go to Bing and type it in, then you're pretty much going to end up at a site that we've licensed to do that, to see those lyrics. But you might also come in contact with us through Shazam or SoundHound, are both clients of ours. So if you tag a song on there, you'll see lyrics attached to the song and scrolling in time with it. Or you might be using a phone and the lyrics can be embedded into the native music player. HTC just announced their implementation of it and did a demo a couple weeks ago at their launch event of the live scrolling lyrics that they've integrated from us in their music player. So there's tons of touch points like that the average user will come across. Just most of the time they probably won't know that we're involved.
Right, gotcha, because it's on the backside on the B2B side.
They might see at the bottom that says powered by LyricFind, but most people don't read that far down.
Yeah, right. And actually, in a related question, you've got a recent deal with Gracenote. Can you talk a little bit about what that is? For people who don't know Gracenote, maybe mention that, and then also what's the arrangement you made with them?
So Gracenote was also providing lyrics aggregation services to a number of clients, and as of 2013, they've merged that business into LyricFind. So we've taken on those clients and a number of the publishers, and they're all being transitioned over to the LyricFind platform, and we're working with Gracenote on an ongoing basis for them to still offer the product, but they're offering the LyricFind solution to any new clients and working together to build it out.
So that'll just increase the reach of the LyricFind lyric database even more, because you've got another B2B company that's providing all this content to lots of other consumer-facing products.
Yeah, so having Gracenote as a sales channel works great for us. We also, bringing on the people that they had licensed to already, and that revenue into LyricFind allows us to expand a lot more. And now, because we have worldwide licenses, and Gracenote previously was North America only, that means that their sales force and their biz dev people around the world can now provide a lyric solution and help us really just expand the reach. We brought on some of the content from their database as well to make our database that much more complete.
Right.
So it's really become a best of all worlds solution by combining the two.
So let's talk a little bit about what you think are some of the most. I mean, obviously, the bigger the reach, the better for you in terms of from a business model perspective, and also just in terms of people having access to lyrics in a way they've never had before. So reach is obviously an important factor. But what are maybe some innovative uses you've seen of lyrics, whether it's through the LyricFind database or just in general? How are people using lyrics nowadays? What could a consumer sort of do now that they could never do before because of how you've connected a lot of the dots with technology?
One of the best things is lyric synchronization. So we're seeing that in a few of the people that we've licensed. Song Freaks is one that's a music player that has synchronization built in.
So as you're listening to the music, you're seeing the lyrics go across the screen?
Yeah, they go up line by line in time with the music. With Winamp, we've licensed them for a Winamp for Android, synchronized lyrics add-on. HTC, as I mentioned, is integrated into their native music player on all their new upcoming phones. So that creates a really cool, engaging experience for all of the music fans to see it in time, and you get to create a much better experience that way by using the synchronization. Some other cool things, we're seeing a lot of things with lyric posts. There's a company that we've licensed that's a startup called Gig with 2 Gs that you can tag people in lyric posts and add images and add other content in there, and it's allowing people to express themselves through a line from lyrics, and it helps them search and find the right line from a song to go along with whatever they're thinking or feeling at the time. And
it's with photos, like a photo with a line, or
you can have photos, or you can just do text. You can do
like pre-templated text to post on Facebook and stuff like that.
You'll choose a line from a song that really fits your expression at the time, and so it's really cool. We've licensed another company called Hear Lyrics that does a similar thing, mainly with images rather than just text. So that's really interesting. In the past, one of the coolest things that we licensed was IBM for Watson, the Jeopardy playing computer. We licensed the database to them to include in Watson's knowledge. So if any lyrics-based questions came up in Jeopardy, if that was a question on Jeopardy, then Watson could answer it.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So there are all sorts of different random uses that we never would have thought of.
Are there ways that music fans can now use lyrics to monetize sort of fan-developed content using lyrics? Has that emerged yet, or?
Well, any way that we're licensing lyrics, it's monetized for the songwriters.
I mean, could I go to a website and pick some lyrics and get it sent to me on a coffee mug or a T-shirt? Has that happened yet?
There have been a couple of deals like that. We haven't done any of that. Our rights don't extend to physical goods at the moment, but a couple of years ago, EMI did a deal to make lyrics T-shirts with a company whose name I can't remember right now, but that was really cool. They started printing up T-shirts with famous lyrics on it, and that was something that I thought was really great.
Yeah, that's
and innovative, and there should definitely be more of.
What about educational uses? I mean, it seems like music students would get a lot out of having access to a database of so many lyrics.
Yeah, we get a lot of inquiries for educational things like that, and one of the biggest educational uses is for people learning a new language.
Oh yeah, oh that's perfect.
We see a lot of things coming in that are people that want to learn English or other languages, and they learn it through music.
That's perfect.
So they listen to the song, they see the lyrics with it, and then they actually know what the right words are rather than just sounding them out like we might do if we were trying to sing along to Gangnam Style. Now actually knowing what the proper words are and then learning what they mean to learn the language.
So let's say, I suspect probably our audience includes some independent musicians or some smaller record labels. What would an artist or a smaller label need to know about lyrics? Like, what would be useful from your perspective, having been engrossed in this for the past decade or more? What's a useful thing for them to know about lyrics, how they should protect their lyrics, how they should monetize their lyrics, and how their careers might relate to what LyricFind does?
The biggest thing for people to realize is if you have the lyrics, there is a market for it. I mean, we're paying out millions of dollars a year in licensing fees to lyrics rights holders, whether it's the publisher or the songwriter. And that. So there is a revenue stream there for artists, for songwriters to tap into. And not only is it just the direct revenue stream from our lyrics usage, but it's the secondary stuff as well, from somebody being able to search for a song through our database and then have it match because the lyrics are there. If they only know a line from a song but they don't know who sings it or what it's called or anything, if they search for a line from a song, then they can find it and buy it. But they can find it and then get information about shows that are coming up for that artist, or spend money on all sorts of other things that may not be necessarily from the lyrics directly, but they've discovered that artist or that song because of the lyrics. So for all of the artists that are out there, the publishers that are out there, it's definitely a key thing for them to do, to license their lyrics to people like us, who are going to monetize it, going to get it into those services. And they can do that by going through our partners like the Harry Fox Agency, or in some cases coming to us directly, or we're working with other societies, we're working with digital aggregators to pull in that data for indie artists. So there are a lot of ways to get the content in and get paid.
Is there something like Sound Exchange for lyrics and independent artists?
Pretty much us,
yeah.
I guess. We do work with aggregators, and we try to aggregate as much content through them as possible, rather than doing direct deals, so that it flows through existing payment mechanisms. So we're working with people like CD Baby, for example, so that we'll be able to aggregate content through them and have that revenue flow through an existing payment source, rather than us sending out all those individual checks. And we do the same with HFA, and then it all gets sent out.
How do you distinguish LyricFind from related services or companies?
The biggest thing that we push is that we're just B2B. We're not out there. We have a mobile app that we use for demo purposes, but we don't update it. We're not adding features to it. It's there so we can show people what we have in the database. So we're a pure B2B company, and so we're not competing with our clients, and we're complete sticklers for quality and doing everything properly. So we're the only provider, the only company really that has a team of people sitting with headphones on, actually typing the lyrics out and listening to that music that we have in-house in our office in Toronto. We also do everything properly when it comes to managing the rights. So everything is country by country rights management to make sure that we're paying the right people in the right territories for use in those territories, which is extremely complex, but it's a necessity to operate the business the right way and compensate people the right way.
Does one of your paid music listeners listen to every single song that comes into your database, or do you get lyrics already transcribed?
In rare cases, we'll get them from the publishers, but 99.9% of the time we don't, and it's our content team that are going through them, and everything that goes into our database now is looked at by someone on our content team. Mm-hmm. We won't necessarily transcribe every track, but all new releases are transcribed. Obviously, everything that's charting anywhere, we monitor a lot of different charts. All of that stuff gets transcribed. New releases, new albums are all transcribed.
Right.
So there's.
And do they do anything else? This is the way that Pandora's listeners code their songs as they go, as they're transcribing it all, or
not really. They'll do the timestamping as well for synchronized. So our content staff will sit and listen to the song. After they've done the lyrics, they'll go back through it and mark the time on each line to be able to offer the timestamps and the lyric synchronization.
It'll be interesting to see what PhD students do with that data at some point. Once where is it that this theme shows up in songs, most of the time, or something like that?
We've done some fun experiments with the data, even like creating word clouds of lyrics for different artists. So we ran three probably about 2 years ago. We did Taylor Swift, Eminem, and the Beatles, I think, and you really see like the difference in subject matter of the song through the word clouds and through the quality and I guess educational level of the lyrics that come out, the words that come out, and what that they're really. In the past, I guess if you look at something like the Beatles, there was a lot more thought that went into the lyrics.
Yeah. I wonder if there's any use in the emerging use of analytics and metrics for the artist's career somehow through the now available database of all these lyrics.
Yeah, we've talked to a lot of people about providing them with the data so that they can run analytics on things like commonality of words. And we're looking at providing data to people like Next Big Sound about the usage and the views, so that they can see what the popularity of each song's lyrics is that is not necessarily lined up with the popularity of the actual song.
Like the genre of the music might be different than the lyrical content.
Right. You'll see with hip hop, for example, those lyrics get more views than a country song, probably for the most part because people don't understand what they're saying as well.
And they're looking it
up.
So
they need to look up the lyrics to see what's going on, what's being said.
And also the language is always evolving in hip hop, so it could be that people want to know what words should I be using now? You know, what are the tastemakers introducing into our community language?
Exactly,
That's kind of interesting. So the licensing of lyrics across hundreds of publishers and labels in dozens of countries has got to be a nightmare.
It is.
And I'm just curious if you could talk a little bit about what the challenges are and what you've learned from untangling that might be useful in other industries or other aspects of the music field. Or
sure. Yeah, I think a nightmare is probably a huge understatement. We're in 30 countries right now, and we have licenses worldwide. But the reality of a worldwide license from a music publisher is that you get the rights that they have in the countries that they have those rights. It's not truly worldwide. You don't get a blanket to use a song anywhere. The way that publishing works is it's traditionally based off of the physical market, so it's built off of distribution. So if I'm a publisher and I'm based in the US, I may not have a presence in Spain. Mm-hmm. So I'll assign those rights to somebody else in Spain, exclusively generally, to monetize that content there and collect. Which means that if I grant you a license for worldwide, it's not going to include Spain because I've given those rights to somebody else. Which means that we have to go to everybody everywhere to get true worldwide, and we have to manage rights on a country by country basis. And there's our different owners in each country for the same song, and we have to pay the right people. And to add an extra layer of complexity, there are usually multiple owners per song. So if you take a song like Rich Girl by Gwen Stefani, I think there's 14 or 15 different publishers that own a piece of that song. And then that's going to change country by country as well. So the data problem of managing all of that is astronomical. And luckily we've got some really smart people building that setup, and we're actually going through and rebuilding a lot of it now to be able to go from 30 countries to 130 countries or more, but it's very, very complex. So to manage the rights properly, you have to do every country individually, and you have to track the usage in each country and then pay out to the appropriate people in each country.
Right. Wow.
And you kind of end up wanting to shoot yourself in the head a lot.
Yeah. So we've just got a couple minutes left, and to sort of take a turn on the conversation, you've never taken any outside funding for your company. What made that possible? What have been the challenges of that, and how would you advise other music tech startups regarding whether and when to take outside investment?
I think the easy one is what made it possible, and what made it possible was that nobody wanted to invest in us.
So, easy decision.
Yeah, we didn't really have a choice.
Right.
We tried to go out and get funding when we were first getting started, but nobody wanted to invest in a lyrics business. The only money that we did take was $50K from my mother back in the day. So,
yay, Mom.
Yeah, she was our only investor. She believed in us, mainly probably because I guilt-tripped her a lot. But it's worked out for her, so it's okay. And it was definitely a challenge. Luckily, we were in a position where we were in a market that was completely untapped. So we were able to go to the publishers and say, just let us try to do this. We weren't trying to make a new streaming service. We weren't trying to make a new download store where there were existing players in there and there was risk of cannibalization, or that if we didn't pay, they'd lose a lot of money. They were making no money off of lyrics. So we got reasonable deals done with the publishers to allow us to do it. But it was definitely a challenge. Working from home with just my co-founder Mohammed and I for a long time, while he was coding away and I was trying to do the licensing deals, and any breaks in between, I was going through all the content and cleaning it up, and just trying to keep everything lean.
Right.
It's something that has really stuck with us over the almost 9 years that we've been doing it now, and enabled us to be to be sustainable. While a lot of other companies have come, raised a bunch of money, and blown through it, and then they're gone. If we had raised a bunch of money, we might not still be here. We might have just, our run rate would have gotten out of control. So my advice to everyone else is to last as long as you can without taking money. And if you can do it without funding, do it without funding.
All right.
And
great.
Enjoy the ride.
Yeah, great. Darryl, thanks so much for joining us. Have a great South by Southwest. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back on in just a little bit. Keep watching Austin Tech Talk. I'm Dimitri Vietz with Storyam. Thanks a lot.